Hello, this is How To with Mr. Whately. Today we will be looking at Math Standard 7th grade 7.G.6, which is basically find the area of figures and, different types of figures. Today we're going to focus on finding the area of a composite figure. Composite figure is just a figure made of several different shapes. Okay? And to do that, really, there's nothing brand new here. It's just to find the area of a composite figure, you just find the area of all of its parts. So I'm going to suggest to you, do it a couple ways. We'll do a couple problems together, and that'll be it. I'm going to show you an example of some figures that just are not standard, right? This doesn't follow a certain, it's not a rectangle, it's not a trapezoid. This, it's not one figure. Okay, this one down here. Okay, that figure there, the inside space, it doesn't follow, or it doesn't fit one formula. There's a couple different shapes. So to do that, to find the area of these things, I'm just going to show you and work along with you that we're going to take the figure and break it into shapes. So, for instance, this one here, it doesn't follow any one area formula. So what I did was I kind of took it and broke it into two rectangles. And this is definitely the way I want to see you do this. I want to see you write on the figure or sketch your own shape. I want to see you write the area formula within. Okay, this will be good training also for when we calculate the surface area of a three-dimensional object. There's many steps involved. So that's what I did. I wrote the area figure within each shape. And then once you have that, you need to start considering what measurements it is that you need for your formula. This says the area of this is the base times the height. So, here's the amounts that we need. So down here I wrote the formula, plugged in the values, so it's 40. The area of this shape right here is 40 square centimeters. This figure over here, this rectangle, it's base times height. This amount is all the way over here, so I definitely wouldn't use this. I want to find the area of this figure right here. And the easiest, most obvious measurements to use would be this here for 6 centimeters and this here for 3 centimeters. And that's what I did. I wrote the formula below, plugged in the values, 6 times 3. I got 18. Now the final answer, the area of this overall composite figure, is the area of these parts and pieces combined. So that's how we get a final answer of this for 58 square centimeters. If you need to find the area of something in real life, you're laying, concrete for a patio, or you need wood or paint, you need to know how much space you're painting. This is the type of area you will really be, I'm sure, figuring out. Okay, so it's a good idea to know how to do that. So I figured you and I'd go over one together, and then I'll have you do a couple also before I set you loose to work on the assignment. All right? So taking a look at this shape here, there's not one way to find the area of it. Okay, there's several ways to find the area of this figure. A lot of ways. Okay? One way would be to take this overall large rectangle, find the area of the whole thing, and then since this part is cut out, you could then literally find out how much that is and subtract it. That's an option. Some of you might like that option. I kind of like that option. Another way to do it would be to say, hey, wait a minute, Whately. We've got, let's see, if you split that there, and you split that there, we've got rectangle, rectangle, square maybe. 3 rectangles. Find the area of each, add them all together. That'll work also. I don't know how you want to do it, but I think I want to. I think I'm going to use that other method I'm going to find the overall area, and then subtract out this part here. So the area of this is base times height. I'm going to write the formula off to the side. And then plug in the values. Now in this case here, the base and the height, well, I'm going to use the 14 and the 19. I'll write the units later at the end. Okay, 19 times 14. I don't have that memorized, so I'm going to pull out the calculator. 266. So the overall entire rectangle is 266 square inches. But we cannot forget that there's a part that's been cut out. Now if we take a look at that part that's been cut out, it's another rectangle. We need to look at the measurements of that rectangle. And that in this case here is 9 by 7. Okay, so area of that, it's base times height, 7 times 9, 63 square inches. Alright, now we're almost done. We've got the overall area, 266. This part's cut out, that's 63. So in this case here, to find the final answer, we're going to take the two values, 266, we're going to subtract from it 63, and we will have an overall total answer of 203 square inches. Okay? All right. Let's move on to another one. All right, here's another one. I think this is quite obvious what the two figures are, the two shapes are. I always like to caution you, once you once you have a circle or a triangle, it's always, or even like trapezoid, maybe for every figure, just be careful, okay? These circles, though, especially, can be tricky for people, okay? What we're dealing with is, well, let's see what we're dealing with. This is obvious and easy. We've got a rectangle here, and it's connected with a half circle. We just have to assume it's a half circle, all right? If this side of the rectangle is 4, this side of the rectangle is 4. If this side is 6, this side is 6. You might want to do that ahead of time. That's up to you. The area of this rectangle is space times height. Now this is a half circle. So the area formula for a circle is pi r squared, but this isn't a full circle. It's a half circle. How can I tell? Because it's a half. If we were to print it and flip it over, we would have a full circle. So the formula for half of a circle is pi r squared over 2. Okay? So we're going to calculate the area of this composite figure by finding the area of the rectangle, and then finding the area of the circle, and then combining them. There we go. I'll start with the easy one. I like to write it all out, not just because I'm showing y'all. Base times height. Base is 6. Height is 4. So the area of the rectangle is 24 square centimeters. Done. Now this. Be careful. The part you're going to mess up with is the radius. Okay, this is my second take of the video because the last example I messed up on. So this will, right here on the circle, this whole measurement's the diameter. We do not need that. We need the radius. So if the diameter is 4 all the way across, and that means this is 2, and this is 2. So we have everything we need. Area is equal to pi r squared divided by 2. The radius in this case is 2. And you know what? Leave pi as pi until the very last step. I think the calculations are a lot easier that way. You can do it into your head. You can do it with your head. Do it in your head till the end. R squared is 4. And then if you commute this and make it 4 pi over 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 pi is the final area for the circle. 2 pi, I can do that in my head. Pi is 3.14, so 2 of those would be 6.28. And again, units are squared. All right, well, we're almost done. It's all clearly written. You have it all out in front of you. There's nothing hidden. You're not hiding anything from yourself. You're going to be able to track your own work. Final step would be to add those parts together. 24 combined with 6 and 2800ths would be 30 and 2800 square centimeters. All right? So you just found the area of a composite figure by finding the area of its parts and combining them together for a grand total. All right. Now these next couple figures I'm going to show you, and then during the lesson on Zoom I can pause it and we can answer them together. Okay? So there'll be a couple examples here that you're welcome to do. I'm going to put that out there. I'd like for you to jot that down, sketch it, maybe sketch it on your own paper. Sometimes math just needs to be dealt with your hands on your own paper. All right? Now be careful with this. Where I messed up on the last take was, I thought that this across was 8, but the way I enlarged it was showing that this is 8. So what that means is for this circle, the radius is 8. Okay, and you need to understand that because both of these formulas involve using that length right there, or part of it, for its area formula. Okay, so what this tells you is, okay, this is 8. Well, if that's 8, this is 8, this is 8, that's 8. You get it. All right. Good, so I'm going to pause this, and as a class, you can find the area of this. Okay, great. Nice job. You guys are, holy moly, you guys are champions. All right, let's do one. We'll do one last figure. I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to see if you can do this. I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to leave a lot of space off to the side, so during our Zoom conference, I can write. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should put it there. That way when I'm writing, it'll be over here. Anyway, so there's the other figure. Go ahead and the directions for this would be find the area of this composite figure. Good, and I always think the circles, shapes that involve circles are usually a little more challenging, so figured I'd show you a few. Maybe we'll take a look at doing another. How about this last one right here, okay? It's obviously a composite figure. Could be your backyard. Maybe you're going to put up a concrete stage so you can stand on stage with your guitar and sing to your neighbors or something. This would be asking, to find the area of this would be like, how much concrete do you need to pour? Okay, so you saw me complete a couple examples. We did a couple examples together. What we ended up doing was we ended up finding the area of composite figures. Okay? And to do that, you basically need to find the area of all of its parts of that figure. Okay? So just to recap, example, this figure here, wrote down the formula for each, for the area of each. Then we found the measurements we needed for the area. We calculated the area of each part separately and added it all together. Okay? So you guys hang in there. It's going to take you a little while to be accurate and get used to this. A little more complicated than some of the other things you've been doing. But now you know how to find the area of a composite figure. I showed you some steps that should help you along the way, like showing your work and the formulas and labeling things and being neat. That's half the battle for this standard. Okay? All right. You guys take care.